This is indeed a disturbing universe.
Hello, greetings, and welcome. Welcome to the Stereo 999 YouTube channel. I'm your host, the artist formerly known as Stereo Steve, and I'm here with my pal, Mr. Gopher. Say hi, Mr. Gopher.
Hi, Mr. Gopher.
First off, I want to thank you all for your patience. It's been a while. I had that cold, and then I had my birthday week. I was partying, and life and stuff have been getting in the way of me making these videos for my friends to watch. But here I am. I got it. I'm doing it. And we are continuing, like I said, like I made the pledge, continuing to go down my list of 100 psychedelic songs. We're about halfway there. This is, I'm going to do 5 more. I'm going to do 46 through 50. And again, they're not in any like order of ranking of what's the best. It's just I made a list of 100 psychedelic songs. They're kind of sorted out in reverse alphabetical order by artists. And we're getting into the L's now. But I've kept you waiting long enough. I'm going to just get right into it. Okay, so song number 46 on this list of 100 psychedelic songs is by a band called The Millennium. And this album is called Begin. And this is, like I was saying before, there's certain psychedelic albums that are not your typical psych. They're like kind of special. And this is one of them. It's produced by Kurt Boettcher and Keith Olsen. And it came out on Columbia. This is a reissue with this kind of label. Came out. I bought it in the early 2000s, so I'm guessing it came out in the early 2000s. But yeah, The Millennium. There's a lot of good songs I could pick, but like I said, this is psychedelic pop that is like too pop to be heavy, but way too psychedelic to just be straight up pop music. It's got a lot of experimentation, a lot of really beautiful melodies. But I could have picked, 5 a.m. To Claudia on Thursday, like the intro prelude. But the song that's on this list is a song called The Island, because it kind of conjures up visions of a mystical place. I know islands kind of have a different connotation in today's political climate, but think of the tropical climate of an island, a monsterism island, because part of the reason I picked that song is because this compilation album, it's kind of hard to find. I think it came out in 2005. Compilation called The Sounds of Monsterism Island. And I think it was kind of inspired by that song, because that is the first song that kicks off this compilation. And it's an interesting mixture, because it's got psychedelic stuff. It's got the Millennium, United States of America, white noise, West Coast pop art. But then it's also got some kind of lounge stuff. It's got Martin Denny. It's got the version of Quiet Village that Martin Denny played on the Moog synthesizer. So it's a weird mixture of psychedelic rock and kind of tiki lounge music, and it's mixed together like a DJ mix, and it creates a vibe. And this song, The Island, kicks it off, and it creates a perfect mood. Okay, now we're getting into the L's. This is Love Sculpture with Dave Edmunds. album, Forms and Feelings, was the second Love Sculpture album. And this is the psychedelic one. The first Love Sculpture album is called Blues Helping, and it's blues. Oh, you think? But Forms and Feelings is a psychedelic masterpiece. It's got the long 11-minute version of Saber Dance, and the American pressings have Mars as the intro, which are not on the UK pressing. So this is a rare case where the American version of an album has a song that's not on the UK version of the album. So yeah, the American pressings of this on the Parrot label are the complete version of the album. But anyway, that's not the song I'm going to talk about. The song I'm going to talk about is the lead-off track, In the Land of the Few. And it's got kind of a Baroque motif to the chorus, kind of hinting at progressive rock a little bit. And it's got that sense of urgency that I've talked about in psychedelic songs. And this song came to me at a time in my life. I was a teenager, and I had a situation where I wanted to stay somewhere, but I had to leave. And this song is about wanting to stay somewhere, wanting to stay in the land of the few, having to leave, but not wanting to leave. And I could totally relate to the song. And it also rocks. If you only know Dave Edmunds' solo work, do please investigate Love Sculpture. Amazing band, especially this album. And take away the sculpture, what do you have? You have love. And this is For Sale. This is the first album with the second lineup of the band. There are critics who would tell you that the early love is the only good stuff. And they will be spectacularly wrong to tell you that. For Sale is a masterpiece. It's a lot more heavier and harder rocking than Forever Changes, which is a masterpiece in their own right, which could not be replicated. That is a unique special record, but much has been said about this. But what I want to talk about is the first song on this, song called August. And it's just a perfect song. It has the beautiful, like, folky Arthur Lee melody, but it also has just a ripping, shredding guitar solo when the jam part comes in halfway through the song. So it's got heavy guitar, and it's got the tunefulness of love. And this album also has a song, Always See Your Face, which has been in some movies, and Singing Cowboy. Yeah, so this is classic. This is the best of the second lineup of Love, For Sale. And August, the song August is a complete banger, and it's on the list. All right, next we're going deep in the heart of Texas. A song with a title I can definitely relate to in my old age. This band is called Lost and Found. Originally on the International Artists label. This is a reissue on the Get Back label. But Lost and Found, the album's called Everybody's Here. And the song I want to draw your attention to is called I'm So Hip to Pain. And so, you know, whenever my hip starts hurting, I think of that. I'm so hip to pain. But yeah, it's just ridiculous and a catchy chorus, and it's just a fun song. It's just a fun song. And yeah, they cover 13th Floor Elevators, Don't Fall Down. And yeah, so they're kind of a footnote in this Texas 60s psychedelic continuum. This is a good record, Lost and Found. Okay. And since I'm doing just 5, this next one will be the last one for this portion of the video. This band is The Litter. And, their first album, Distortions with Action Woman, is usually what people talk about. But this is the second Litter album, and it's called $100 Fine. This is a reissue on the Get Hip Recordings label. And this is a good album. They do some cool kind of There's an experimental piece called Apologies to 2069. They do a long cover of the Zombies' She's Not There with Dorsey organ that goes on for about 10 minutes. They do a cover of Procol Harum Kaleidoscope with lots of phasing and flangering in it. But the song that's on the list is called Mindbreaker. And it's just your heavy riff, catchy chorus, fuzzed out guitar, psychedelic, mid-60s, 60s rock song. And it checks all the boxes. And it's a banger. Mindbreaker. Mindbreaker. All right.
See, that wasn't so difficult. You could have done this any time in the last couple of weeks, but you're just being lazy.
Yeah, true that. But anyway, stick around. After the break, Compact Disc Corner.
It's a long walk.
No, I didn't know.
You can walk all the way down Hay Street, and then we have to walk down like Gilmore.
And then he's like, well, I just catch some
No, just to if you want to walk in this way.
I wasn't planning on walking that one.
But we can take up the Hay Street bus down,
I am okay with taking a bus.
and we go for Gilmore.
Okay.
They've been doing it.
Yes, we can definitely take the bus.
Oh yeah, that's just fine. Come on, boys. Just one more time.
Time for Compact Disc Corner. Compact Disc Corner. Compact Disc Corner, yeah.
All right, welcome to another edition of Compact Disc Corner. This is the part of the show where I talk about the compact discs in the corner. And in the background, we're listening to the sounds of Ray Lynch and his album Deep Breakfast. This is some classic new age music from the 80s. A lot of analog synth and mellow sounds to relax to. I got a few CDs on a label called Wounded Bird Records. The deal with Wounded Bird Records is they reissue on CD a lot of things that never made it to CD from the realm of vinyl and have become kind of rare. And this first one I was surprised to find. This is kind of one of my favorite jazz albums from the 80s. Chico Freeman, Tangents, featuring Bobby McFerrin. And yeah, it gets into some kind of experimental stuff. I mean, some of it's kind of firmly in that 80s kind of streamlined sound. But it gets into some dissonance, and Bobby McFerrin's in there with his vocalizing, you know, keeping up with the saxophone solos. Yeah, but saxophonist Chico Freeman, I have never heard anything of his that I did not like. So if you've never heard of him, if you see something of his, it's definitely worth checking out. Some early 90s indie rock band from Tennessee called the Judy Bats. And this is their first album, Native Son. And yeah, it came out in 91. It looks like in 2008, Wounded Bird reissued it. So it was out of print for a while. But this is like a classic 80s indie rock record from 1991. A lot of just real tuneful, catchy songs, some good riffs, varying styles. One of my friends is like an expert on this band, but I just kind of just starting to dig into them now. But yeah, Judy Bats. All right. This band is called Kindred. I think this might have originally come out on Warner Brothers or Reprise. I think it's their second album, Next of Kin. And as you can guess by this album cover, there was a certain kind of hippie rock in the early 70s that had some heavy guitar and some riffs, but also very distinct kind of soul music influence with the vocals. And, you know, think like a heavier Three Dog Night, or think the band that would play in the desert in the movie Vanishing Point. It's Kindred. Mustache Rock. But this is pretty cool just to get that kind of early 70s hippie vibe. This is a good one to put out. This record was off of my radar, and I just discovered this recently. This band is called Quill. This album originally came out on the Cotillion label, and this was kind of the crossroads where psychedelia met progressive rock. I say that because just the musicianship is so good that it makes the songs a little more complex, which you kind of see it paving the way for progressive rock. But yeah, they played a short set at Woodstock, and they made this one album. They were from Boston, but they just kind of came and went. But yeah, no. This Quill record rocks. Back to that soul-influenced rock like I was talking about. This band, Sweet Salvation. Definitely on the funk tip. They do an 8-minute cover of Aretha Franklin's Rock Steady to close out the album. And this originally came out on Elektra. And this is the last Wounded Bird CD I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about a couple more CDs. This I actually discovered through Spotify. This is the Italian progressive band Locanda delle Fata. And I'm not going to try to pronounce, I'm not going to mess with this title, except that I read it translates to maybe the fireflies don't love each other anymore. And I think as kind of a political statement about industrialization decreasing the population of fireflies and the death of whimsy. But there's this one really beautiful song that's like towards the end of this that Spotify kept throwing in my recommendations. And finally I'm like, I need to buy this damn thing. And I got a really nice deal on this Japanese pressed CD. So I stuck the obi behind the plastic. You know, vinyls of this are expensive, and can't listen to expensive vinyls in the compact disc corner on a boombox. All right, in that same realm, this compilation, Cherry Stones and the Sympathetic Sounds of the Psychedelic Ghetto. Word. This is a really fun compilation because it's all over the place. It's got George Brigman, it's got Dead Moon, Brainbox from Holland, it's got the Deviants, Chrome, you know, Pan and Regaliz from Spain, Nosferatu, Krautrock, French Lard Free. It's a psychedelic bad acid trip around the world. All right, and the last stop will be Japan. I got this back when I worked at Tower Records. Takeshi Terauchi and his Blue Jeans, one of the prominent Japanese surf music guitarists. And this is a later album that he made in 1997. And all the titles are in Japanese, so I can't really tell you about that. But 3 guitars, drums, bass, and keyboard. Good stuff. Okay, and that was Compact Disc Corner.
Show and tell, just a game I play when I want to show you some records. So like and subscribe, and you'll see them next time too. Oh baby.